Should musicians use phones or tablets for chords and lyrics during a live set? That's the big question. That's a question that causes a lot of debate on Facebook, Instagram, other social medias whenever somebody posts it. Some people say it's cheating. Some people say that everybody uses it, so why can't I? So I just wanted to kind of break down my experiences with it and what I've seen from other musicians, both independent musicians and also national touring musicians. My quick opinion on it, you really need to use whatever you think is going to help you deliver the experience that you want to deliver. If you really want to showcase the emotion in your show, in your set, go all out when you're singing and playing, you really want the audience to feel every single word, chord, and all that stuff, then my opinion would be do your best to memorize everything that you're playing. Because I do think there is a little bit of truth to when you're using an iPad or a phone that you do have a tendency to be a little bit more robotic in that you're looking at a screen instead of trying to connect with your audience or connect with the moment. However, I've seen a ton of musicians, very accomplished musicians, using devices to help with lyrics or chords or whatever. Most notably, I was at the John Mayer concert in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, probably 2023. Both him and the opener, JP Sachs, both had on stage what looked like a wedge monitor, but it was actually a teleprompter. The lyrics were scrolling as they were singing. So I thought that was really, really interesting because I've had conversations with friends and other musicians about should you use phones and iPads and things like that, and to see someone of the caliber of John Mayer using it was a little bit surprising, obviously because these are songs that he's written. But then when you think about his catalog, he's got a pretty sizable catalog of songs that he picks and chooses from, and I know he sometimes changes his set lists up for various shows, so he probably does need a little bit of help in case he kind of gets in the zone with like a guitar solo or something and he's got to get back to the song. It probably helps to know where he left off. Also, I've been to Nashville a couple of times. There are incredible musicians in Nashville. I could honestly say probably 9 out of 10 of the musicians that I've seen on stage, right, like 90% of them, are using phones or tablets or whatever. And that's probably for a couple of reasons, right? Number one, I think it's probably for requests. A lot of musicians in Nashville take requests. You'll get better tips if you're playing requests. And maybe it's a song they've only heard a couple of times and they're not super familiar with it, or maybe it's a song they've never heard before, but they're going to pull it up on Ultimate Guitar and they're going to see what the lyrics are and the chords, and they're just going to wing it the best they can. And maybe it sounds completely different than the original, but that is probably super cool to somebody who requested that song, to hear a different iteration of the song they just requested. Personal experience, I will use them if I am playing songs that I have recently learned and don't quite have memorized yet. I play basically the same songs at just about every gig. I try to add 1 or 2 new songs every month or so. I am toying with the idea of having separate set lists for every show. What I'd like to do is, if I play a place on Saturday for 3 hours, I'd like to play one set list. And then if I play, even if it's a different place on Sunday, I'd like to play an almost entirely different set list. So the plan would be for me to bring my phone or my tablet, and for the few songs that I don't quite have memorized yet, then use them. So then we're probably looking at about 85 to 90% of my set list being memorized with like a handful of songs that I would use it for. I do like to have my set list memorized because it helps me perform them better, because I don't have to worry about reading chords and how fast my app is scrolling and things like that. There are some nuances that you have to worry about when you're using those things. Does your iPad have cellular service? Because mine doesn't, so I have to connect to Wi-Fi. If I bring it, I have to make sure that the place has Wi-Fi and that I can connect to it. If it doesn't have Wi-Fi, or if I'm playing outside somewhere that doesn't have Wi-Fi, then you have to make sure you have your playlist saved on your iPad to be able to use offline. So there's quite a few things you have to consider when you use them. Also, you have to remember to bring it. So I think the bottom line really is it all depends on what you want to do. If you want to be the type of musician who is kind of open to anything, take requests, even if they're songs that you don't know or never heard before, then by all means, use your iPad or phone and make it fun. If somebody requests a song that you've never heard of, you might say like, all right, well, I don't know that song, but I'm going to give it a try. And then you pull it up and wing it, see what happens. The audience may enjoy it. Also, if you let the audience know that you've never played it before and that you're going to try, I think it kind of piques their attention a little bit and be like, oh, let's see what happens. This might be awesome, or it could be a train wreck, but let's watch. That's your goal anyway, right? To get the audience to listen and watch and pay attention. I don't think there's a wrong answer to this question. It really just kind of depends on what you're comfortable with and the type of show that you want to put out there. Let me know in the comments what you think or what you're doing. I mean, maybe I'm missing something entirely as far as this topic goes. So let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate it. I'm always willing to learn. Thank you again for your support. Please like and subscribe and check out one of these other videos. And I will see you next time. Have a good day.